Hey guys, it's Liv here, and in today's video, we're going to be using the #1 team from the San Diego Regionals. I'm just going to link the team builder for this one down below, because truthfully, I could never do this justice. I'm reading through the team report right now as we speak, or I should say, and honestly, it's a really great read, and I don't want to botch the builder, because truthfully, again, I can understand some aspects, but there's a lot, again, just down below. That's the best information if you want to use the team, as well as the rental code and just any other information that might be useful for you guys. And if you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. And with that said, let's get into our first game. So we're taking on Hard Trick Room Game 1, considering this team is Armor Rouge, Indeedee, Annihilate. They have Orin Guru, Hariyama, and Torkoal. So looking at this team, this is definitely literally like hard Trick Room. I'm assuming that Indeedee Armor is pretty guaranteed here. I think it might not necessarily be as a lead though. I feel like Annihilate leads off with one of the Trick Room mons, if not Hariyama, and then we proceed to get Armor and Torkoal in the back. I'm going to proceed to lead off with, I feel like that leading off with Mimikyu for one is pretty decent. I can use it as a good anti-Trick Room. Meanwhile as well, Gholdengo could be decent here. We're going to throw Garganacl in the back for sure, and I think I'm going to throw on Tauros' mon number 4. Tauros should have some good merit against this team, considering the fact that we do obviously have one, our water typing, which should be great for the Sun matchup. But 2, I can utilize Tauros overall as a pretty decent way around most of their Trick Room, I would say, at least as a late game option in my opinion. So we'll go with that. With that said though, good luck and fun to my opponent, and I have faith that we can manage to win this in my opinion. They're going to lead off with Orin Guru and Annihilate. Yep, okay, this is what we were expecting. Luckily, though, they are going to be forced into not clicking Final Gambit here, because we're leading off with Dual Ghost. So that already is a huge step up here. So again, we have our good anti-Trick Room option, of course, with this. While Mimikyu obviously isn't going to be a Trick Room set of its own, we're still going to be able to utilize this against most of their Trick Room, just with Shadow Sneak alone. I'm going to go for Play Off here, and I'm going to go for attacking Annihilate. So we're going to go for a Play Off into a Terra Steel, and I'm going to go for Make It Rain, I think. I feel like Make It Rain is still my best play. It should hit Orin Guru as well and get some good damage started on that. We can take out Annihilate at least without losing either of her Pokemon, which will already be a huge step up. Terra Steel on this as well will be valuable. I don't think they'll Drain Punch right into me. I think if anything, they're going to try and Rage Fist, and just going for the slower attack will be much appreciated here. Especially since this is probably going to be a 100 base power hit. Nope, actually Gholdengo somehow is the fastest mon on the field. They must be like a really slow Annihilate, which is good information, because Mimikyu will probably outpace this. I can't imagine that Gholdengo would outpace this and Mimikyu doesn't, which I guess seems to be the case. Okay, so that's good to note, of course. That's perfectly fine. We obviously take out Annihilate here, which is very good for us. Orin Guru has almost certainly cooked Trick Room, so we're gonna have to deal with the Trick Room comp here, but it's not really a huge concern in my opinion. Okay, so we know this is Trick Room. Good to note. So, looking at this, they're probably gonna bring in, if I had to guess, they're probably gonna bring in Torkoal. What are they gonna go into? They're gonna go into Torkoal. Yep, okay, this is fine. So, what I think I'll end up going for, I'm definitely gonna go for the Shadow Sneak here. Actually, I could probably just, yeah, I'm gonna go for Shadow Sneak for sure. And then I'm going to go for the switch into Tauros. I think truthfully just even bringing in a mon that will resist the Eruption will be valuable here. And I can go for Aqua Jets plus Shadow Sneaks to try and weaken Eruption before we obviously have to take more Eruptions with Instruct Boosts. So that will also certainly be pretty valuable here as well. I know that the Intimidate doesn't really matter at this point. It doesn't matter for anything besides Hariyama, so I'm not too concerned with this. And I still think that if we can manage to stall the Trick Room here, we can honestly clean with Gholdengo anyway. So we have 4 turns to basically stay alive for, and I don't think they exactly were predicting with the Solar Room here. If they did, I'm going to kind of question why they burned Terra right now, because it could also definitely hurt them a lot. They're probably just going to click Eruption here. So we're going to get the Shadow Sneak off, and my opponent is going to go for the Eruption. That's fine. Mimikyu is probably going to die from this, but I'm not too concerned either. Tauros actually, holy shit, Tauros takes way too much damage. Okay, well, if nothing else, despite not having my priority options, I'll still have Garganacl in the back, and Garganacl will still be fairly valuable here, in my opinion. So, I can definitely make this work. Yeah, and we can always use Wide Guard on Garganacl and take this mon out, so I'm not too concerned with this. And meanwhile, on the Gholdengo, I can probably just click Power Gem. I feel like it's my most valuable option here, just in case if it gets down to Orin Guru plus Gholdengo, I still have a strong way of attacking that without necessarily weakening my Torkoal hit. Because I could probably only pull this off on a single occasion. I don't think I'm going to manage to get it off multiple times. And Garganacl should be decent. The one concern I'm going to have here is if they ended up bringing Hariyama. I think that's the only thing I would be afraid of at this point. Otherwise, it should be pretty okay. So we'll go for the Power Gem here, and I'm going to go for a Wide Guard. Wide Guard I feel like will be pretty decent against their Torkoal. If they predict and go for Solar Beam, so be it. That's something I can't really avoid if they do make that kind of call. They are going to go for Eruption, beautiful. And they're probably going to click Instruct on Oranguru as well, which should mean that I get this attack off very easily. So what is my opponent going to click here? Again, probably, yep, they're going to go for Instruct. Okay, so this is fine. That's not a huge deal. I'm kind of curious, actually, is Torkoal Specs? And I purely ask this, actually, because I'm kind of shocked with just how much damage that Tauros took. So, let me see. So, Tauros, Paldean, Water versus Torkoal. So, Power Gem went off. Oh, that just kills Torkoal. Okay, so then it doesn't really matter if it was Specs. But I'm still kind of curious. Let's see. So, we have, let's see. So, we have 90, well, we have 12 Spit F and 244 HP. So, 244, 12... How much does Eruption do? Eruption? Okay, so that's just a charcoal roll. That mon's just really gross. I see. Okay, so here we're in a bit of a predicament. There's not really a lot I could do about this in all honesty. My best play is to go for... Well, it's two more turns to Trick Room, right? Yep, 2 more turns to Trick Room. Okay, so my best play is to go for Salt Cure here. And hope they take out Gholdengo. Wait, no. I mean, I can't really do a lot about them attacking Gholdengo, truthfully. I kind of just need to get damage off with Salt Cure just so it's something. And I could potentially try and utilize this to win, but I don't think it's going to be possible. Oh shit, they let me just have that. Are they going to go for Instruct here? Because if they go for Instruct, I might actually be able to take this out with Salt Cure damage. Especially with the fact that I'll be clicking Trick Room next turn. Well, Trick Room... Oh, fuck, no, never mind, because Trick Room's going to be out next turn. Shit, okay. So this won't actually matter at all. I think we're just going to get taken out completely here. Because they'll have one more turn of Trick Room and I'm Specs Gholdengo as the last mon left. So unless if I somehow manage to KO this, I don't think I'll KO it, but maybe we do after Salt Cure damage. That's kind of what I'm going to hope on at this point. I don't really have a better out. No, that did nothing. Okay. Right, because it's a resisted hit. Well, yeah, this is definitely game, albeit I anticipated this situation would more so come up because the fact that Gholdengo was not necessarily last mon alive, but I figured maybe last mon Oranguru and Gholdengo was the 1v1. It did not end up being the case. Hariyama's just going to be able to maul me because I clicked Terra stupidly early on, which ended up being unfortunate. Because realistically, I think if I just switched out, or honestly, if I just benched Gholdengo and brought Meowscarada, I think I would have been in a lot better of a position. But you know what? That is what it is. I feel like, again, 100% should have just... Truthfully, I think I should have just benched Gholdengo. Meowscarada, I think, would have been decent. I could have potentially used that with the... Well, I probably would have actually brought Gholdengo, maybe benched Mimikyu. Because I feel like that Meowscarada clicking knockoff into that Oranguru slot would have been extremely valuable turn 1. But you know what? It is what it is. We're going to get into game number 2, so we'll see you guys for that. Okay, so getting into game number 2 here, we're taking on Hydreigon, Garchomp, Gholdengo, Moongus, Murkrow, and Maushold. So looking into the lead for this team, I feel like the Tauros is definitely a really strong lead here. I think I'm going to probably lead off with Tauros, and then I want to say, I feel like Meowscarada could be a pretty decent lead here, actually, especially in tandem with Tauros. I feel like these could be good for stuff like Maushold, Garchomp course, for example, or at the very least a dual target Garchomp plus Murkrow options into the Garchomp slot. If the Hydreigon leads, well, actually, I think at that point, actually, I bring Mimikyu Tauros. I feel like that Mimikyu could also match up well against stuff like Gholdengo. Definitely Maushold in the back, Meowscarada in the back for sure, though. And then I think Final Mon is probably... Well, let me double check the Terra type on Baxcalibur, because I feel like Baxcalibur's water. Yeah, I definitely bring Baxcalibur then. Garganacl's not terrible here either, same for Gholdengo, but ultimately I think I'm going to get a little bit more mileage out of the Terra Water box, especially just considering the fact that Spear hits this team so fucking well, and the only real checks that they have would be Terra, and I think late game, that'll be really valuable. Well, I guess Terra and Gholdengo, but if Gholdengo ends up going for Terra instead, that's also really good for me. Even still, I have Meowscarada and Mimikyu for Gholdengo, so I'm not too concerned with that route. They're going to lead off with Gholdengo and Murkrow. This is fine. So what I'm going to proceed to do, I'm going to go for the Shadow Sneak into Gholdengo. Meanwhile, I think I'm going to go for Wave Crash into Gholdengo as well. And the plan here will essentially be go for just as much damage into that one slot as possible. They're probably either going to Thunderbolt into the Tauros, which I'm fine with that. If they're going to dedicate their slot to Thunderbolt, that's actually really valuable for me. Or B, they're going to go for Make It Rain here. which will probably come after Tailwind from Murkrow, just to outpace the Tauros. We see this do around half, which obviously this is going to have Citrus Berry, so it's going to get to around 3/4. Should be fine, though. I'm pretty certain that we can take this out with Wave Crash from Tauros. Worst case scenario, we just priority spam it next turn, because it won't really matter. They're actually going to go for Nasty Plot here. So that's even better for me. Really glad I dual targeted into Goldango, because this was really the only thing stopping my Baxcalibur at the end game. Aside from, of course, the potential for, well, ooh, okay. This is a little bit tricky. I'm actually going to go for Wave Crash on Murkrow this turn, and I'm going to go for Shadow Sneak on Mimikyu. I could potentially, actually, no, I am going to make this play, because I need the priority hit to KO, essentially, and if they go for Terra Steel anyway, it's not going to matter, but ultimately my goal here is to try and still get some good damage on Murkrow, in the case if they do go for, like, a Protect here, because I think there's a good chance that this is, like, Plot, Protect, and Stabs, now that it has revealed Plot, and I think it would be a good lead with Murkrow. They could also have been Specs, but obviously, Specs was more so, they could have been Specs on lead. They're no longer Specs. It's definitively, they're not clicking Specs with that set. They've already revealed Citrus anyway. But this lead still obviously could have brought Specs Goldango was more what I was getting at. And that, again, was something that's still, the same sequence of turns, turn 1 would have been beneficial for. It seems like they are going to go for the Terra, they're Terra Flying, actually. Terra Flying is interesting. This obviously does help mostly defensively speaking, but I still just go for Sneak here, and I think that should still do enough. They're going to go for Protect. Okay, Protect is fine. The Wave Crash on Murkrow should be decent, and next turn I can actually just go for dual priority here. They're going to proceed to go for Torment on Mimikyu. That's actually interesting, but I do like it a lot. This will definitely end up determining how I play a lot this game. So the Torment, Tailwind, and then Goldango has Nasty Plot and Protect. Interesting. Okay, so I'm definitively going to go for the Aqua Jet into Goldango's slot, and I'm going to proceed to go for a Play Rough into the Goldango spot. And if Tauros ends up KOing this, then that's fine. I get the Play Rough into Murkrow, but I can't really go for my target for Shadow Sneak anyway, so I may as well. They're probably gonna go for Foul Play on Murkrow into Mimikyu if I had to guess, which I'm fine with that. It's just damage for them at that point, which truthfully doesn't make a huge difference. They do have Make It Rain, of course, which I'm fine with. That again isn't going to be a huge deal. And yep, they do reveal Foul Play here. Again, all of which are fine. Murkrow will probably end up, well, Murkrow will definitely be alive. Goldango's going to be taken out though. I think Mimikyu dies as well this turn, which should be unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, Mimikyu's dead. Okay, that's perfectly fine actually. They're going to probably end up bringing in probably Garchomp here. I feel like Garchomp is really decent. I'm going to go for the Terra on Baxcalibur here. I feel like Terra Baxcalibur will be overall more valuable, and I could potentially utilize my Meowscarada just as another option on the field to provide a presence. And they're going to go into Hydreigon. This is fine. Yeah, definitely going to go for Terra Water. Terra Water will still be more valuable here, in my opinion. Yeah, I can't really think of an instance where I wouldn't just click Terra Water at this point, because it's not like I'm clicking Terra Grass against this team. We'd never do that. We'll click the Icicle Spear here. Even if they're Terra Steel, it's fine. I'm going to proceed to go for a knockoff into this spot as well. I can attack Murkrow on the following turn if this ends up not being a good play, at least with Baxcalibur, that is. And then, meanwhile, I can go for a Sucker Punch into the... Oh, no, right, because they can't Terra. So, never mind. I was thinking that they could Terra. Objectively, they cannot Terra, actually. But even still, I mean, Meowscarada's not really targeting Murkrow that well anyway. So, may as well go for this. It's not really hurting my case, at least. They're going to go for the Draco Meteor here, so be it. We still take that pretty well, actually, so I'll definitely take this. Albeit, Foul Play from Murkrow is going to hurt like a bitch, but, oh yeah, that does way too much damage. Holy shit. That does way too much damage. Oh my god. Okay, well. Holy fuck. Okay, Hydreigon just beats this team then. Scorpions. Okay, so this is the crit set. Oh, then my team definitely was not beating that set. That set, I think, just massacred this whole team, if I remember correctly. Unfortunate. We're going to go for a Flower Trick here, but I don't think it matters, in all honesty. They just dual attack me, or they're going to go for Tailwind. That's fine, too. They're probably just going to click Heat Wave then, if I had to guess, just to try and maybe get the burn. Yep. Okay, so we avoid that, actually. Thank God. That's kind of our only out here, I'll be honest, is dodging Heat Wave. Flower Trick, yeah, just, like, no damage. Holy shit. Okay, well, they could still just Foul Play into Heat Wave again, and that should just take me out plenty. I can't really see a world where this doesn't. I still stand by the plays that I made because even if I clicked Ice Shard into the spot, I still don't think Masquerada could have handled whatever Mon was last. I guess it'll depend on whatever the last Mon was, truthfully. But again, I can't really... Okay, so Overgrow actually pops off really well there. So I'll definitely take that. I guess we'll find out what the last Mon is. This will determine, obviously, I guess, how much of a choke Ice Shard was. But even still, I don't really think it made a difference. At least in a clean game, it shouldn't have made a difference. In this particular instance, it would have. Amoonguss, yeah, okay, so this definitely did not make a difference. I would have essentially needed, like, I would have needed Protect plus Knockoff turn 1 into, like, Ice Shard doing a ton of damage, which I don't know if it did enough. This should regardless be sealed, though. Murkrow just clicks Foul Play, and that should be game number 2. Definitely unfortunate. I'm hoping at game number 3 we can pull back. I think, truthfully, I'm playing this team a little bit unoptimally. I think game 1 I definitely could have brought better Mons. I think game 2 it just came down to the fact that, well, I don't know. I think game 2 just was going to be game 2. But you know what? It is what it is. Let's get into game number 3, and let's see if that could be better. Okay, so we are on to game number 3 now. This team consists of Garchomp, Ceruledge, Volcarona, Grimmsnarl, Arboliva, and Armarouge. Okay, good to note. So looking at this team, I feel like that my lead here. I feel like that realistically, my best lead here is probably gonna be. I'm trying to think. I feel like the Bax is a decent option here, especially with Terra Water. Their team doesn't really handle it unless if they get Trick Room up and then have Arboliva on the field. So I think I'm gonna lead off with that, and I feel like that having this paired with Masquerada will be a decent fast option here. It should help pressure a lot, especially against Mons like Terra Grass, Volcarona. Well, I think I'm actually gonna lead off with Tauros. They have a lot of physical offense here. It could be good to Scout Clear Amulet. I'm gonna bring Masquerada and Mimikyu in the back though. Well, actually, am I gonna bring Mimikyu? I feel like I definitely bring Mimikyu because of the fact they have dual Psychic, dual Ghost Weak Mons. On top of the fact as well, it doesn't seem like they're gonna have Psychic Terrain on this team unless they have it as a manual option. So I should be pretty okay here. I feel like that overall my win con here is definitely gonna be either Baxcalibur or Masquerada. I'm not sure which. It's gonna depend on how quickly they get up Trick Room though, truthfully, because I think that Baxcalibur could be a strong option if they don't. But if they do get up Trick Room, then I might just bank off of Sucker Punches with Masquerada. So we're going to get up the Intimidates. That's fine. It doesn't really make a huge difference here, truthfully. I'm going to proceed to go for the Terra Water into Ice Shard on the Volcarona. And I'm also going to go for the Wave Crash on the Volcarona. This should... Well, actually... No, I'm going to go for Icicle Spear. And I'm not going to Terra yet. And I'm going to go for Wave Crash here. And again, I'm not going to Terra yet. Solely for the fact that I don't think it's beneficial to Terra against the Volcarona, especially if they do predict and click Giga Drain. They're going to proceed to Quiver Dance here. That's fine. Wave Crash from my Tauros as well as the Icicle Spear should be decent. And worst case scenario, I pick it off for priority next turn. So I'm not too concerned with this, actually. This should be a pretty good turn for me. Yep, Volcarona is essentially dead. And then Icicle Spear should be more than enough to take this Mon out. Beautiful. Okay, so Volk is gone turn 1. Already really good for us, and the fact that we only needed 2 hits should be pretty beneficial because my opponent hasn't ruled out that we are or are not loaded dice. Even if it is very likely we are loaded dice, they have not ruled it out definitively. So even just the preservation of information here is already going to be pretty valuable to our cause. They have Ceruledge up next. Now this is the Mon I definitively click Terra against, actually. So we're going to click Terra, and I'm going to proceed to go for a Glaive Rush here. Meanwhile, I'm going to again click Wave Crash. Well, actually, am I? I think I'm going to click Wave Crash, yeah. Even if they go for Terra Grass here, it's not a huge concern because I'll still have the Glaive Rush going off. And worst case scenario, I just go for Ice Shard on it the following turn, and that should be plenty to pick it off. So we are going to proceed to get up our Terra Water here. Now, they could still go for a Terrestrial here on Ceruledge. They would just need to be slower than my Baxcalibur, which is fine. We're not exactly super fast on Baxcalibur. I mean, we have speed, but we're not like ridiculously fast. We're only 52 speed. And we're Adamant Nature as well, so it doesn't scream fast Mon. They do seem to be going for the Terra on Ceruledge, which means this is a fairly bulky Ceruledge. They're actually going to go for Terra Ice here. Now, Terra Ice is fine. That's actually amazing for me, truthfully. They probably use this as a good way around stuff like Dragonite, pre-Terra at least. So I'm okay with this because this just means that Ceruledge gets smashed by my team. They're going to be Weak Armor, actually. Ooh, Weak Armor's not great, but that doesn't matter a ton, actually, because I just realized they're either clicking an Ice move, a Fire move, or a Ghost move. They're going to bulk up here. Ooh, bulk up. That's a little bit terrifying, I can't lie, because especially with the Reflect, that could actually take my Glaive Rush pretty well. So, that's not good. They actually just die. Okay, that works out well for us. Thankfully, Excalibur is just such a good offensive piece that it did not matter. This Tauros ends up thankfully putting in a ton of work as well, getting up the initial defense drop, because that's probably the only reason we can take this out. And thanks to the Terra Water on this as well, we end up actually being able to take the Grimmsnarl hit, which is amazing, because otherwise that Mon would have taken us out guaranteed. So they're down to Garchomp and Grimmsnarl. They've burned their Terrestrial here. I'm honestly just going to click Ice Shard. There's not really a reason to click anything else, and I'm going to click Wave Crash yet again. My play is always just to attack Garchomp, because Garchomp is really their best offensive piece here. And we should be able to take this out, and I can 1v3 Tauros pretty efficiently here. Thankfully, they clicked Sucker Punch in the backs. I'm not sure why they didn't just click the... I'm not sure why they just didn't click the Spirit Break here. But Tauros will take itself out with the Wave Crash. Yeah, okay, so we just still take ourselves out, but we don't take out Garchomp in return. Still not a huge deal, though. I have enough pieces that can actually just take out Grimmsnarl efficiently, so I'm not too concerned with this. I'm going to proceed to go into Meowscarada here, actually. And I'm just going to click Flower Trick into Grimmsnarl. I can click Ice Shard into the Garchomp as well, and this should essentially make it so that when they have to Spirit Break me to take me out. Meanwhile, I'm going to go for Flower Trick into the Grimmsnarl, which they would have to Sucker Punch or Spirit Break to actually get off damage for. So Garchomp should guarantee die here, unless if they go for Protect, which if they're going to go for Protect, I'm not really too worried about this Mon in all honesty. It could go for Protect all at once, and that's fine, it just stalls a turn. They would essentially have needed to Spirit Break the Grim on that same turn, which is also fine because I still have ways around this comp anyway, so I'm not too concerned with this. We're going to get the Flower Trick off, though. I do anticipate oh, actually, Grim just dies. I was going to say I anticipated the fact that Grim would take out Excalibur, but it doesn't even matter. They're just completely gone. So, okay, I think we finally got a grasp of this team. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, leave a like below and subscribe. We're actually going to be live later tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to try and hit Master Ball with the #1 team in the world right now. Well, not the #1 team in the world right now, but the #1 team from the very last fucking tournament, the last regional. We're going to try and use that team, or I might pick out a few others. I'm not sure. I'll try and get a few different teams that seem fun, and we're going to try and see if we can hit Master Ball, because I want to obviously get back up there since we did start from a little bit lower in the ladder to begin with. So hopefully you guys enjoy that, and you're here at 7 PM EST for that stream. Shout out to our channel members, of course, being Josh K Ultra Player, Mia, Zeke0, Matashay, Nox Nocturnal, and Goemi. Your guys' support is greatly appreciated on this. And of course, if you want to become a channel member today, link to that is down below. It's just a couple dollars a month, and it goes towards things such as competing at tournaments, which obviously funds for extra tournament content for you guys, as well as any other competitive discussion, whether I'm commissioning editors for videos or anything else of the source. With that said, I will see you guys in tonight's stream or in tomorrow's video. Peace out, guys.